Vanakkam. It's my pleasure to meet you all through the Semori Multimedia Center of Central Institute of Classical Tamil. Today, we are going to embark on a journey to the Tamil heritage brought to you by Puranaanooru, a classical Tamil work. Puranaanooru belongs to the Sangam era. Sangam era is universally acknowledged as a period between 1st century BCE to 3rd century BCE. Puranaanooru is a product of the Sangam era, which is the golden period of Tamil literature. You may be surprised to know just 2 Tamil words brought to us this treasure of Tamil literature. Dr. Uve Saminatha, who published the original and the commentary of Puranaanooru, and he was in search of the meanings for 2 Tamil words called Kottralai Sitral. He came across these words in Sivakasindamani, and he was trying to find out where all it figures, and you will be surprised, he found it in 3 bundles, one of the bundles given to him 42 years ago by his Tamil teacher and the head of the Thiruvadurai Adinam, Subramanya Desiga. And he found that these words occur in a palm leaf where it is marked number 95 below the poem. He recognized that then this is Puranaanooru, and he started studying the work and then published it with the commentary. Puranaanooru is a collection of 400 poems. To be precise, 397 poems. 2 poems we have not able to trace the 2 poems, poem number 262 and 266 and 267. And the first poem was written by a poet who doesn't belong to the Sangam era. But the Sangam literature is broadly classified into 2 classes, 2 categories. One is called Pattu Pattu, which means 10 collections of long poems which are suitable for singing, and 8 anthologies of poems. Puranaanooru is the 8th anthology. Puranaanooru, as I said earlier, has got 398 poems written by more than 150 poets. Puranaanooru is not written by one person. Puranaanooru is written by various people belong to the various places, various time, various castes and various professions. Arya Padai Kadanda Nedunjeliyan, who is a Pandya king, Kopuran Jodan, who is a Chola king, and Kanaikal Irumburai, who is a Chera king, have all contributed to Puranaanooru. Not only kings, but also the merchants like Kulavanigan Satanar, and teachers like Madurai Kanakkayar, doctors like Maruthuvar Damodaran, and the landlords like Kovur Kirar has contributed to Puranaanooru. 18 women poets have also contributed to Puranaanooru, and what is interesting is the large number of poems, nearly 33 poems, have come from a women poet called Avayar. The 2 words which Swaminatha was searching, Kottralai Sitral, is found in the poem number 95. In fact, it is written by Avayar. Avayar used this poem as a kind of a ridicule on war. Puranaanooru is largely considered as poems that are glorifying war and valor. Yes, it's true, but it's not absolute truth. You see poems criticizing about the war in Puranaanooru too. Avaya's poem is one example. Avayar make a satirical comment to a king. She portrays two situations. He says to one of the kings, she says, your arms, the spears and swords, are shining like are shining, they are sharper, and you have poured ghee on those tips so that they will not get rusted, and you have decorated them with the feathers of the peacock. On the contrary, your enemies' arms are lying in a workshop of the blacksmith. This Kotralai Sitral means Kotralai is the workshop of a blacksmith that is located in a shed called Kutril. This Kutril is also used in Tamil now, even now, as Kottil in Tamil. Anyway, Puranaanooru does not glorify only war and valor, but it's a reflection of a society. It is the voice of a society. As I have said, it is written by 150 poets of different types, different professions, and different times and places. So it is a collective voice of a society. What kind of a society was it? The society of the Puranaanooru evaluates education as a tool for social change. It elevates education not just as a means of acquiring wisdom, but as a method to change the hierarchy in the society. One of the poems, written by Arya Padaikadanda Nedunchezhiyan, says you should help your teacher when he is in a troubled situation, and also give him enough money to teach you. You should learn from him even if he is hurting you with words, or if he is angry with you, you should bear it and you should learn from him. The question now is why one should learn, why one should study from a teacher. Arya Padaikadanda Nedunchezhiyan gives an answer to it. If you are learned, let us assume there are two sons for a mother, two brothers originated from the same womb, but the mother will show more affection towards the learned son than the illiterate son. This is, first thing is you get a recognition in the family. Then he says, if you are learned, the king will invite you and he will keep you close to him. He will respect you more than the seniors in his clan. So you get a governmental recognition. Then he says the most important thing, that among the four different classes in the society, if one belongs to the lower class learns, he will be respected and revered by even by those in the upper caste. So he uses education. He believes education can change the hierarchical system in the society. What is interesting is this is said by a king who is more powerful, who has got the governmental authority. And this king is not an ordinary king. This king has led an army to the northern parts of India and won over the kings in the northern parts. So, a king who has got a mighty army and enormous wealth does not think that governmental power or the mighty army or even wealth is essential to a man to progress in life. He believes education can change things than the mighty government. So, this is the message you get from Puranaanooru. Puranaanooru also shatters so many myths that has been propagated to us. One of the popular myths which we even hear nowadays is India was not one country before the arrival of British. How far it is true? Puranaanooru's poem number 2 talks about a king who fed the armies of the Pandavas and Kauravas. He gave them food more than enough, as much as they want, and that is why a limitless meal he was providing to them. So, he is called Perunjotru. Perunjoru means enormous food. So, Perunjotru Udayan is his name. Cheraman Perunjotru Udayan is his name. So, he is a Chera king. This poem reveals us so many facts. First one is the king is feeding the armies in the Mahabharata, which means Mahabharata is well known even in the southern parts of India, though it is believed to happen, the Kurukshetra war is believed to happen at the north. Secondly, when the poet hails the king like with these words that பொன்கோட்டு இமயமும் பொதியமும் போல் வாழ்க என்று அவன் சொல்லி, this is what he says, which means he hails the king to live like the Himalayas and the the Podigai hills in the south. So, the poet is familiar, not only the poet, even the reader is familiar with Himalayas even at those days. You cannot compare one with the other about which you do not know. So, the familiarity of Himalayas to a person in the deep down south in Kerala is evident in this poem. And he also describes a ritual carried out by Brahmins in the vicinity of Himalayas, which is they are into yajna, where they lit fire and they do perform the rituals there. These rituals are even followed by almost every part of the country on the important occasions. So, what it tells us? There is a mythological connectivity, there is a political connectivity, and there is a geographical connectivity between north and south, and there is a cultural connectivity between north and south. So, this tells us there was a land which was connected by various fibers, and that land is called Bharat, which we call India as today. So, why Puranaanooru is relevant today? What is the message of Puranaanooru and why we should get familiar with Puranaanooru today? Because Puranaanooru carries the message like valor, wisdom, generosity, societal values, education, and the cultural unity. These values are even required to us today, and it is our earnest duty to read and spread the message of Puranaanooru to everyone. Thank you.